say they dedicated, I don't see the dedication. They wanna say they dedicated, I don't see the dedication. These niggas say they dedicated, I don't see the dedication. They wanna say they dedicated, I don't see the dedication.
Good afternoon. Good evening. My name is JH. We will be talking about what the best job at the post office is today. What's the best job? But first, if you have any financial difficulties, if you're looking to go make some purchases because you have things that you want to get for the family, vacations, etc., please check out the links in the video description. I have links for all federal employees that can help you get whatever it is you need. If you're looking to buy a home, we got financial advisors. All of these things play into the post office. That's what I do. I provide information. And if you need it, it's there. Cool? Cool. Now let's talk about what the best job in the post office is. What's the best job? Mine. All right, we can end the video. No, we can't end the video because some of you are like, well, Jay, you're a truck driver. I don't have a CDL. Why are you talking about your job is the best job? Exactly. Why is everybody asking me what's the best job for the post office? I can provide you information about each job. The question is, what job suits you? A truck driver says, hey man, trucking good at the post office? I'm going to say yes. It's very lucrative. I love it. That's me just talking. But if you go and talk to CCA Nick, hey man, carriers, is that a good job? Nick's going to say, of course it is. This is what I do. This is what I make. You go talk to Barbie, she's going to say, processing clerk. Yes, this is the best job because this is what I do. Get where I'm going with it? Please don't ask me what the best job for you is. Let me tell you what each job entails and whether or not it fits you. Got it? Good. First off, truck drivers, you do need a CDL, Class A or B. They do provide a program for you if you want to get a Class A. If you have a permit, I believe they have a program to help you get your CDL as well. Not too sure of how or when, but if you're interested, shoot me an email, which is also in the video description, and I'll try my best to give you the information. Cool? Cool. Enough with the truck drivers. I don't like talking about my craft, but let's go on to the next one. Carriers. Carriers is an extremely lucrative career, but it is not for the weak at heart. It is extremely grueling. It is extremely frustrating. It is one of the hardest jobs you will ever have at the post office. If you like to be outdoors and away from your peers, this is the vehicle that you need. Because some people just like, they can't be around people and you're isolated, you're in your little mail vehicle and you're going, you're saying, you're dropping stuff off. You really don't have to interact with customers often. So if you're not a people person, it's a good job for you. But you have to be an extremely focused and hard worker. So think about that before you apply to become a CCA, an RCA, an ARC, okay? Because it is a physical job, probably one of the most physical jobs you have. On to the next one. Let's talk about the clerks that work at the stations. Those are the SSDAs, Sales Service and Distribution Associates. an extremely difficult job as well. But you have to be flexible with your hours. You have to be flexible with your hours because the stations open up anywhere between 2 a.m. and they close anywhere between 6 and 8 p.m. So when you first start, you cannot pick your schedule. You're assigned to some hours. Those are the hours that you have to work. Doesn't work that way with anybody else. So you might have to work early mornings one week. You might have to work evenings the next week. Is it laborious? Yeah and no. Because initially you're receiving the mail from the truck, and then you just basically sorting the mail out, scanning it, and it's a very repetitious job. Repetitious. Usually there with a couple of other people. You're not really isolated, but you're in the station, so you do have people watching over you. Okay, got that? You do have people watching over you. Once you get past your basics and you decide to go get your window training, you will be interacting with customers. I can be that jerk of a customer. Sometimes I go into my own stations and be like, hey, y'all, I'm about to mail some stuff, and give them a hard time just because I can. Just because I can. But you got to be able to withstand some of the foolishness that these customers do. They got the racists. You got man, we can go on and on and on about that. But just understand, if you decide you want to be a sales service and distribution associate, it is not as strenuous physically, but you have to be extremely flexible with your hours. And you somewhat have to be a people person because you have to interact with customers and your peers. Got that? My dryer's done. Next one. People that work at the plant. Mail handler assistants. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Need I say more? Need I say more? Is it lucrative? Absolutely. Do they get paid less than everybody else? Yes. But they do have a clause where they are able to work unlimited overtime. I don't want to work overtime. It's kind of how it goes. You almost don't have a life, but you are constantly moving around the facility with many, many, many different tasks. Is it difficult? Nah. It's somewhere in the middle. Somewhere in the middle. Is it physical? Yeah, somewhere in the middle. Somewhere in the middle. Will you be on your feet all day? Yes, you will. The key, though, is that you gotta know you will be interacting not only with your peers, your supervisors, everybody, all different attitudes. Understand that before you jump in. You're gonna be dealing with a bunch of miserable people, happy people. If you're a woman, you're gonna be dealing with a bunch of dogs looking at you. If you're a handsome man, you're gonna be looking. All these women gonna be trying to get at you. You're gonna be dealing with management that don't know what they're doing. You're going to have a lot of different things coming at you from different areas and different angles. You got to be thick-skinned. Or you could just shut your mouth, do your work, stay silent, yes everybody to death, make your money, go home. There are people that do that, and this don't bother them at all. This don't bother them at all. None of it. Mail handlers do make decent money. They get raises. They go by the mail handlers union. If you're looking for any of the information having to do with any of the pay raises or pays, just check out each union's website. So if you mail handler, they have a website. If you have the truck drivers, they have the APWU, the clerks, APWU, the carriers have the National Association of Letter Carriers Union. Every craft has their own pay scales and union websites. Very important. Let's get down to the processing clerks. Processing clerks work at the plant as well. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You need to be flexible. They don't have to interact as much with a lot of what the mail handlers have to interact with, but they still have to interact with a group of people because usually they're teams. You team up on working on a machine. If you want more information about that, check out Barbie's, Creole Barbie's channel. She's a processing clerk. She'll give you more information about that. but you have to be flexible. A lot of the money that they make is excellent money as well. But again, does it feed what you need is the question. Is it feasible for you? Because a lot of people like, oh man, I'm this. I want to transfer to be that. Then they go and they transfer this and they talk about, oh man, I want to go back to being this. Educate yourself with any of the crafts. The processing clerks, they're lifting trays of mail, they're lifting stacks and they putting it in there, they're working at a machine. They are making that mail move around the building through machines. Mail handlers physically pushing, using machines to move the mail. Processing clerks, extremely lucrative. I know a few processing clerks at my place that make over $120,000 a year. They've been there a few years. Why can't I make that? Be there. Just work. You don't just walk into it. What makes you think you deserve $120,000 a year? Go ahead, tell me. Because I'm smart. I'm dumb. Understand that every craft has the potential, depending on your location, to make close to 100 grand a year. But again, the hours, understand the hours have to suit your needs. The place does not have any sympathy towards you and your personal life. So if you have issues with parents that need to be taken care of, children that need to be taken care of, numerous doctor's appointments, this really isn't the place where you can jump in and feel as if they're going to be empathetic nor sympathetic towards your needs. They will not. So be informed. I provide information about each craft in detail through many of my other videos, and see if it's something that's going to fit your needs. That's of dire importance. They do have, when you're working at the plant, and this is good, when you do work at the plant, processing clerks and mail handlers and any truck drivers, they have the option to see more that's going on. So they get to see the mechanics that work on the vehicles. So if you have a little mechanical skills, you might be able to go and talk to the people that working on the, the mail trucks. They can talk to the mechanics that work on the machines and find out, how can I transfer over to become a mechanic or an electrician? You might have zapped yourself a couple times. You might know a little bit about electricity, and that might be something that sparks your interest. But because you're working at the plant, you have the access to interact or see these people. Some people are not as forthcoming as others, but you're able to say, hey, you guys hiring over there, or what do I need to do to apply there? And they'll give you some information, or who do I need to talk to? So you have that, you got the mechanics, you got the lawn maintenance people, you have the people that maintain the building, you have the ones that take care of the dock, you got the janitors. You have access to every single craft, typically when you're working at the plant, and you're able to interact with them so that you don't have to be stuck in a craft that you don't want to. But again, it's an initial grind, and try to figure out what works for you. Post office is everybody, everything. I just came out the nursing field and I had to let that go because of this thing we had a few years ago. And, I have all these skills and now I'm just pushing mail around. Well, if you have a nursing degree, speak to somebody. Keep looking on the websites. Hey, I got a nursing degree, They hire nurses and they make crazy good money and do zero. I'm not going to say that because there might be a nurse watching me. But they don't work nowhere near as hard as anybody else. You can always move up. You can always advance. You can always move around. But educate yourself about each and every one of these crafts. So the next time somebody says, what's the best job for me? I have 3 kids. I'm a single parent. So, well, I don't know your situation. How's your kids? That's not for me to dig into everybody's personal business. I know people feel comfortable to talk to somebody like me. And I've interacted with so many different people, but I can't give advice to a stranger because it may not work for you. Understand that I can provide information. You seek the information, educate yourself. That way you can make an educated decision on where to go next. This was JH. And what's the best job for me, Jay? We out of here.